hear that.
Made up movies, made up movies.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Made up movies, made up movies. Yeah, 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 yeah. Made up movies. Movies in your face now. Come and get an earful. Made up movies, made up movies.
Hello and welcome to Made Up Movies. I am your host, Mike Kohler. With me, as always, is Matt Shore. Hi, Matt. How are you?
Hello, I am here as well.
It's a weird voice you did. It's a weird voice.
Oh, is it weird, or am I using my normal parlance of speaking?
Anyway, we're here at Made Up Movies, a show where we make up movies that you send in and we
Well,
watch.
I don't know about that. I find that they're very real.
Oh,
we
yes.
do
Well,
live in an
yes.
alternate dimension.
Right.
Right?
We
I think that's where we landed.
we go to an alternate dimension to find movies that are real in a different dimension, watch them through our special space goggles.
Yeah,
and,
even though we're in the other dimension, we still need the goggles for some reason. It's
it's complicated, it's science, and there's no reason to get into it because you wouldn't
You
understand.
might say it's science fiction.
Oh, speaking of science fiction, may the force be with you. Is that right? Happy May the 4th, depending what day it is.
I'm pretty impressed how you nailed that Star Wars tagline.
May the 4th be with you. Is that right?
The fourths?
The Force.
It's Force.
Yeah.
Yes. So before we get too far in, I wanted to let you know that I've got an idea. We get a ton of suggestions here, and if you want to suggest movies to us that we can watch, made up movies that we can watch, just send us the title and the premise of the movie, like a 1-sentence summary of what the basic setup of the movie is. So you can send those to us at on Twitter at Made Up Movies Pod. But one thing is that I had this idea of a group of incredible made-up movies coming together
Yes.
and doing something unstoppable.
Okay.
But I thought it would be fun if we got one of those bingo spinner cage things
All right.
and put all of them, we numbered all of the movies and put them in there, and then we did a live raffle at the beginning of the shows. That way because people don't realize that even though we're using, they submit these fake movie ideas, and we're in another dimension or whatever, we're actually using our amazing idea brains to review them in real time.
Yes. We
Through
watch
the
them in
power.
real time. And
Yeah.
So you're saying we put the balls in the bingo balls, pick a movie, watch it immediately.
Use the amazing power of the goggles to beam it directly into our brains.
Okay.
And prove to people that we do, we might seem like we're just boring old professional film crickets who write this all out from the beginning, but we don't write anything. We come in with no notes.
Are you saying there's unbelievers who think we see these movies for real? And then,
What I heard from our friend on Twitter, let me see if I can get his name correctly here. Smash Trivia. Smash Trivia is one of our friends on Twitter who submitted a couple really funny ideas. I hope we get to soon. He said that those things that you came up with, you guys had to have written them because you're so handsome and funny and talented. I think
that's so nice of him to say that.
I know. I might be editorializing slightly, but he did say it's pretty impressive. So I want to thank you. Thank you to Smash Trivia for your kind words about that. But yeah, we don't write anything out. Today we might have had to do a little bit of research because we're not 100% experts on the subject material. But once we get into recording, it's all, crazy willy-nilly, beamed directly into our brains from the magic goggle juices. But I thought to prove that point, it might be fun to have, one of those cage spinner.
You mean to shut up the unbelievers? To shut them up?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Kill
okay, cool.
kill the non-believers.
Kill the non-believers, yes.
It's like my favorite visionary says, destroy the past, kill it if you have to, along with the sacred Jedi texts.
Oh.
But make sure BB-8 is shooting stuff in a giant AT-AT, and there's a very popular, funny casino sequence in the middle of your movie that everyone likes.
That is the worst sequence in the history of cinema.
I don't know about that. I mean,
I believe it may. I believe it may be the worst sequence.
well, there are some questionable sequences in this next movie, but what I wanted to say is that if you, I looked up bingo spinners online, and they cost $60, which is more money than either of us have ever seen.
I don't know how how's that even possible? You mean
that's like
$6?
all of my Eric Andre residuals combined. So
yeah. And I don't have any residuals. I mean, I have residual like, effects
well, you
from
got
all the
Second
drugs.
City residuals.
Yeah. No, I don't. I still owe them money, actually.
Did you say you have residual drug effects?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I didn't want to walk by that because it was a good bit.
Nah,
but it's funny. It's funny stuff. See, that's the kind of thing you wouldn't get if you were writing stuff out like some sort of
write
goon.
this all out like a crazy person. Like, I don't
crazy
even have a
person.
pencil. I don't even have a pencil.
I don't even have... These are crazy make-em-ups, my friend. So,
Let's
but what we
get... Sorry, go on. What were you going to say?
I just wanted to say, if you would like to support us on our quest, I think we should start a Patreon that has the sole purpose of getting us this bingo cage spinner.
Yes.
And you pay monthly just so we can get that thing, and as soon as we get it, we shut it down. And if you're on board with this spinner idea, everyone chips in $1, and then our 60 listeners can get us that thing ASAP. Imagine how happy you would be to hear your own balls spinning around in there, and then we whip them out.
Whip out those balls. Sounds like ding, 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 like that, right?
And the one that I was looking up, I know you know this, Kolar, but the reviews say it is annoyingly loud.
Perfect.
So that's good audio. Yep. No editing required.
Nope.
So yeah, well, should we get to our submission for today?
Oh yeah. So our submission from we used a random number generator that was not a ping pong ball machine. Unfortunately,
don't have the ping pong spinner yet,
which is very
sad. We had to use the Google random number generator, which is our thing. It's very wonky. It doesn't feel random enough. It's like, do you mean 5 or 6 or 7 or 50? No. It's like, what? Huh?
We know what number we mean, and we know. Anyway, we happened to get a movie called Rogue Squadron, which was released after Return of the Jedi in this universe that we watched it in.
Right. So we went out and we asked for suggestions from this alternate dimension, and we got one from Cable Was the Babysitter, is the name of this submitter. And they were like, here's a movie that's like a sequel to an existing movie, but you probably haven't heard of it because it's only in this alternate dimension. So let's put on our magic idea brain goggles now so we can beam this movie to our brains.
Yep.
I think that'll be helpful. I'm going to put mine on right now. Oh, it's heavy. It's heavy. Remember to crank yours up. That's an important part.
I gotta get mine out of the cupboard, and my cupboard is locked, so I'm gonna use a chainsaw to get it out, I think.
What? Oh, come on, man.
I'm just gonna chainsaw through this cupboard real quick. And there we go. And
what the hell? How did a duck get in here? Oh, man.
Oh, man. It's crazy.
Don't get the duck near the chainsaw. Oh,
no. Chop suey, am I right? The duck a la orange. That duck is dead. But I got my idea goggles.
Yeah, I got mine on, too. Let's flip them on real quick. And... Yep. Oh, wow. Okay, I just saw the entire movie.
Pretty good.
It's beamed directly into my brain.
Liked it.
I know exactly what happened now. I'm going to take this off. And, yeah, that's great. And you can edit this episode. I'm busy this week, just so that's out in the open and clear. So if you hear any sound effects, let's all thank Kolar for his amazing work.
All I hear are the jangly bells of the church.
What the... Why did you just text me with a note that says include bells of Notre Dame in here?
Remember when it burnt down?
That was sad. So, all right. Anyway,
let's get to Rogue Squadron, which is
Rogue Squadron,
which stars hero Wedge Antilles.
Yes,
as you may know, Luke's best friend. I want to say.
Yeah, there seems like they're pretty close, or like they knew each other from way back or whatnot.
And then Luke sort of became a little more popular.
Yeah, maybe. But I think we all know that Wedge is sort of like the dark horse in this. He's sort of like a cool, sexy guy that all the kids want to be like in his own right.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I would say that Wedge is a cool, sexy guy.
I've always thought you had sort of a Wedge-esque charm.
Hey, thanks, man. I do hate the Death Star, so that is...
Hey, I mean, I hate it too. I feel like you can't make a movie without some fucking Death Star.
Gotta have a Death Star in it.
At this point, I hate the concept of Death Stars very much.
And you know what? In this movie, Rogue Squadron, I guess the Empire is trying to, like, cobble together a third Death Star.
Yeah, but it's not clear because it feels like they're cobbling stuff together, but it's sort of like a weird version of sort of what happens in Force Awakens, and I don't really understand how the Star Killer base is different than a Death Star, to be honest. I feel like that's just JJ's
But
nonsense.
At least in the Force Awakens, there's not necessarily a big, like, there's not necessarily a big bad in this one. It's just like a bunch of like stormtroopers who like formed a union kind of.
This movie, like, just to clarify. So this movie, you might know Wedge from the Death Star sequence at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
In the alternate dimension where we watch all our movies and get them from, this movie was made and produced immediately after the success of Return of the Jedi.
Right. They made a fourth trilogy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Wait, no.
Yeah, it's a quadrant, not a trilogy in this dimension.
Yeah. You mean a fourth entrant into the trilogy, not the original Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
Which actually would be if they did. Oh my god,
It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time until they do that. So,
Patty Jenkins will make it. She'll bring that Wonder Woman 2 magic to the screen like she always does.
I don't know if I'd call it magic.
If you want to learn more about Wonder Woman 2, listen to the Wonder Woman 84 episode of Bunker Brothers, our previous podcast, in which we really take that movie apart piece by piece and tell you why it's flawless and why Patty Jenkins definitely deserves to make the Rogue Squadron remake. I don't remember anything. I've seen Joker a lot of times since then, and it has sort of a mind-warping effect on me, as we've covered.
Yeah, it's the only movie you actually have seen.
So Wedge Antilles, this is what Cable was the babysitter sent to us as the premise. Wedge Antilles leads a ragtag group of X-Wing pilots on an ongoing independent mission to disrupt the remains of the Empire after Return of the Jedi. So yeah, they are trying to put together a new Death Star, but they're not in good shape. It's they've got scattered bases across the galaxy, right?
Honestly, it's sort of like the Rebels are the Empire at this point.
Right, because they're actually coordinated.
Yeah.
So what you're basically seeing is Wedge leads a team. Our regular Star Wars heroes like make little cameos, but they don't really factor into the main plot.
It's almost like how they hunted down Nazis after World War II.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's like we're going to Space Brazil with Magneto, and we're gonna kill the Empire.
They didn't have names. Exactly. Yeah,
it's exactly like that.
Yes.
So yeah, we basically go to, there's a rule in Star Wars where you got to visit like at least 3 planets or around 3 major planets or whatever.
And one has to be a desert every time.
Yeah, one has to be a desert every time. And someone has to take a big swig of blue milk and get a blue milk mustache. And then a Gungan has to walk by and lick the milk off their face and be like, Misa likey, hoochie hoochie.
That happens in every Star Wars movie.
It happens in every single one. It feels like to me.
Yeah. Well, the only ones I watched, that's what happens.
What did you think about the fact that there was a sexy female Gungan in this movie?
I mean, it was weird because this was in this universe 30 years before? No, 20 years before.
I didn't realize that Gungans had always been
they're always there. And I mean, she was like as annoying as Jar Jar because like she was like weirdly hot, or maybe she just had a sexy voice. It didn't bother me as much.
I didn't think that female Gungans had 6 breasts like she did.
It's weird, and because it was all practical effects, it was like It was sort of like that chick in
Total Recall.
Yeah, exactly. That's what reminded me.
I know exactly which movies have the most fake breasts.
The most fake breasts per hour. And this one might top the cake.
You know, ever since I got fired from Mr. Skin for finding too much skin, it's been a hard life for me.
And you were really good at that job, too. It's kind of sad.
I was, but I kept... When Mr. Skin himself hired me, I was like, thank you, I won't let you down.
Yeah.
And he said eventually that I let him down by being too diligent.
Jeez. What is Mr. Skin like in real life, anyway?
He was a consummate gentleman.
Really?
He had a Lincoln Town car that he used to drive us around to get Jack in the Box.
What? He's take his workers to get lunch?
Every day he would get us Jack in the Box. We would have to eat it off of his body. But
still.
You don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
It's free lunch, baby.
He did pretend to be the gift horse, and he would neigh while we did it. And he would say we'd have to brush him down hard, or else he wouldn't be able to be put out to stud. You know, when I'm thinking about this, he was actually a sexual harasser.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sort of sounds like he was sexually harassing his whole staff, kind of.
Yeah, and he actually said, as soon as I started dating that female police officer, that's when he fired me.
Huh. Well,
he said I was... there were just some things that you just didn't do, and one of them was reveal the truth of Mr. Skin to a cop. But I just want to say to all my ACAB family and friends out there that I no longer dated her. I didn't. After she quote unquote accidentally shot me, I stopped seeing her.
Well, that's good, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean. She wasn't the first or the last ex-girlfriend to shoot me.
It's almost like you get shot a lot for how many, different, like there's been 3 girlfriends you've had that have...
To be fair, almost every shooting takes place the same way, where I play with their gun while they're asleep and I say, bang, bang, look what I am, I'm a big man.
Yeah.
And they wake up and they start screaming and saying, what are you doing? That's a police firearm, please don't do that.
You've dated 3 cops, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of them just said she wanted to be a cop, so she got the gun already, She said, she's like, I'm a different kind of cop. I hold myself to my own code of ethics. And
most cops say that, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So wait, you nobody shot you, then you sort of shot yourself, is what you're saying, accidentally.
Well, I mean, 2 things can be true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, in almost all of these relationships, both did happen at some point. And sometimes I was shot as punishment for shooting myself, which I thought was like the pot calling the kettle black.
It's like smoking a pack of cigarettes. Cause
exactly. It's like, well, if you love shooting yourself so much, I'm going to watch you shoot the whole barrel or something.
It's a miracle you can walk and are alive.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that they don't tell you is that bullets barely do anything when you're real strong.
Oh, really? Well, the media makes it seem like they're really bad.
That's just some of them fake news. It's just like my pal the Joker says, anything you can do is legal,
That's what the Joker said that?
All right, I think this bit went off the rails at some point. I'm not sure. I don't want to advocate. Bullets are dangerous. I'm not pro guns. Don't shoot yourself. I love you all.
Well, of course you're not pro guns. You got shot a bunch of times. Speaking of shooting people.
A lot of people get shot in this movie. There's not a lot of force users in Rogue Squadron, but there are a lot of blaster users. And, if Han shot first, Wedge shot even sooner.
Yeah, he just won't stop shooting. And it's like, I think, like, at least in Force Awakens, it's sort of like humanizes stormtroopers. In this, they are dehumanized, right? They are not nice. I mean, they're supposedly not nice guys, but you never really get a chance to see that. Like, but in Force Awakens, they're just normal guys. So they're kind of
really understand that. I don't understand either version of that. There's like, in Force Awakens, they're like, he broke free from his programming, but then they never explored that. Like, what's the program? Like, I don't understand.
It also doesn't make sense because I thought they were all clones. Like, weren't they all clones of Boba Fett's dad?
Yeah.
They're all Jango Fett's, right? There's a bunch of Jango Fett's.
I thought that was the whole thing. Or was that only during the Clone Wars? Is this all stuff we have to watch Star Wars Rebels to figure out?
See, I don't want to watch Star Wars Rebels. And
I've heard it's good.
I've heard it's good.
There's a very attractive girl in Cleveland who told me to watch it. I'm trying to pretend to be real interested in it so she'll date me. But I have a feeling that she's just going to shoot me.
I mean, if history has anything to say about it, you're probably going to get shot by her.
I'm probably going to get shot. But if you're real tough like me and you got big muscles like me and Shoma, oh man, what a stud. That guy could deflect a bullet. That guy could catch a bullet in his teeth like Ace Ventura. That's how stubborn
I mean,
he
you're
is.
referencing somebody that nobody else knows except me.
He's a character on the show now.
That's right, just like me.
No, Calendar. No, Calendar. I locked that door, and I don't know how you got in. Did you tunnel in here? Because I don't want you in here anymore.
Sorry, I thought we had an appointment now.
No!
To play some lacrosse.
No, we don't have an appointment, Calendar. I don't like you. No one on the show likes you. No one who listens to the show likes you.
I like him. He seems nice to me.
He's nice to you. He's nice to you because you give him a ride places.
Hey, what are you doing? That's my gun.
I just want to play with it a little bit.
Man, you're gonna shoot yourself.
I'm not gonna. Oh God!
See what happens. See what happens when you play with guns.
I'm hit. I'm going down, boys.
No one cares.
It was nice knowing you.
No, Calendar. I shot Calendar, you guys. He's dying.
I'm pretending to care. Oh no.
No.
Oh geez.
Tell my daughter to stick with her Alcoholics Anonymous meetings.
Calendar's dead, everybody.
Yeah, Calendar died on the way back to his home planet.
That's nice. So what were we supposed to tell his daughter?
Something about Rogue Squadron. So basically, what happens in this movie is that Wedge forms like a ragtag gang, and they go around to each of these planets. They find the remaining stormtroopers along the way, like Kolar said. They find out that there's still some remnants that want to put together like a Death Star type.
Just one
thing.
last chain, one last Death Star, man. We're gonna beat those rebels. But not gonna happen. It's not gonna. You know
and that's when they find that out. That's when they get like they do some of the laziest cameos I've ever seen because
yeah, it's very strange. It's lazier almost than the the 3D edits in all the new ones.
Do you mean like the dance sequence in Return of the Jedi that we can't get rid of no matter how much you want?
No, I mean like weird robot Leia in Rogue Squad or Rogue One. Like in this one, you see
Rebellions
the back
are built on hope.
In this one, you see the back of Carrie Fisher's head for I think 3 seconds, and I don't even know if it was her. Right?
I don't think it was her in that one.
But she had the little
buns, yeah,
the buns. But I don't know if it was her. It was very strange.
That was really weird because she didn't even really say anything, did she? She was just like gesturing in the background. You just see her walk
she was
away.
Just gesturing wildly.
And Wedge is like, "Hey, can I get in to see the princess?" And they're like, "Not today, pal."
It's like I blew up the Death Star. He blew up the Death Star.
Hey! There's a lot of Death Stars. A lot of people have blown them up in this
galaxy.
There's
so many Death Stars.
At this point, get in line, pal. Take a number. She's the friggin' princess.
Yeah, right.
And then there's like that moment where it's almost like it almost feels like a Star Wars holiday special because it's like they're like, oh man, we got to get the guys on the horn, and so they do like holo calls on like little holograms to Luke, and he's like Luke, there's gonna be another Death Star if we don't stop him, and he's like, hey, you know what? I bet you can handle it, buddy. Yeah, you hang in there.
You got it. You got the goods.
Are we just calling Mark Hamill at his like ranch or something? Like,
you got the goods, Wedge. You'll be fine. Yeah, I believe in the Force believes in you. Something like that. I think is.
Mark, are you playing golf right now while you're recording? I don't think
it's called Frolf. It's playing Frolf because it's on another.
Oh yeah. That's because that Frolf is the golf of the future.
I use a Force instead of a 9-iron, so it's pretty good.
I'm filming a new Star Wars spinoff, Squatty Shack. It's totally different.
I'd watch
just
that.
so
we could watch that, actually.
I just want to make it clear, Kolar, you work at a jazz bar, and in Star Wars
dimension.
land, jazz is called jizz.
Yeah.
So that's important to remember.
I don't. What was the point of that?
I just don't understand why George Lucas called it jizz.
Because it's space jazz. It's just different.
But it's just jizz. You do see Max Rebo and his band at one point in the background. I thought that was a cool touch.
That was fun.
You do see Reese, but or at least one of those guys with the 3 eyes that looks like a cow.
Yeah, I like those guys.
Let's see. There's a lot of different aliens. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, with the cameos, you get Han Solo there too. They like basically call them both back to back for help, and it seems like Harrison Ford's already just like completely disinterested in being in this franchise.
He was not. Yeah, I think he was very drunk, and I don't think they. I think when they filmed it, and he was.
Was he dressed as Deckard from Blade Runner?
He was. He was. It was. I think they must have called him at the same time he was shooting Blade Runner because
that's insane.
And that shoot was a nightmare. So I'm sure he was like not in a good mood and probably very drunk.
Wait a minute. Oh yeah, right. That's the movie where all the crew had like "We Hate Ridley Scott" shirts or whatever.
They do not.
Wait, when did Blade Runner come out? I just want to fact check you real quick.
No, you're gonna fact check me, or you're gonna fact check this universe that exists where we watch Rogue Squadron?
Wait a minute. He was dressed as Deckard. It says here on the Wikipedia. Holy shit, that's crazy.
What?
So he was dressed as Deckard in this clip, in Rogue Squadron. But this movie was filmed in 1984.
Yeah.
Which means he was just sitting around his house getting drunk, dressed as Deckard.
Dressed as Deckard? Well, when was Blade Runner filmed?
1981.
Well, he probably just keeps all the costumes.
Just kept the costume and just drinks in his house. Okay.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I would do that if I was Harrison Ford.
I mean, I guess that was before he got into planes or something. I don't know. I don't really understand.
Knows what that guy's into. He's an anomaly, even in that dimension. But yeah, those cameos were all pretty terrible. And instead of having Chewbacca, they have what's that guy Nib? What's his name?
Nub. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like in Jedi. He's got some weird face. I don't even know how to describe it, but he's got like big eyes.
He's got like a layered face. He's got a weird layered white face.
Yeah, and he was in Jedi, and so he's sort of like Wedge's
he's like Chewbacca
sidekick.
Right?
Yeah, right. But you can't really understand what he's saying. And, well, I guess that's Chewbacca too, but he's not. He's also like less charismatic than Chewbacca.
No, I'm not sure what what race they are, but they are not. I don't know if they're smarter than fish. Is what I'm saying.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he's like. I think he's like a self. Like he's a self-aware fish, kind of, but I don't think he's much smarter than that.
Okay,
that's what I think. Is that racist against Nibs?
I don't know, because he's a Muppet. I mean, can you be racist towards a Muppet?
I mean, here's the thing: I hate him too. So then maybe that is racism.
Oh, okay. I found out what kind of species he is. He's a Sulistan from the Sullust system.
Ugh.
They live in vast caves on the planet Sullust.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't wrong.
Sullust? Oh, a nice thing about this movie is you do get a lot of Admiral Akbar. He's basically there being like their Star Fox mission commander, being like, Wedge, you've got to go to this planet right now.
I like Admiral Akbar. I would have the amount of Admiral Akbar was much appreciated. So that was nice. But
so let's like walk through, I guess, the planets they go to, right? So there's a jungle planet which kind of reminded me of Predator, which almost made it feel not very Star Warsy.
Yeah, that was strange because it wasn't like Yoda's like planet. It was like much more.
No, it wasn't swamp. I guess that
it wasn't Dagobah. It was like
it looked like the jungle in Predator, where
it probably was the jungle.
It looks like it's 100 degrees out. It's sweaty. They're all wearing like their flight suits when they go around, so they look like a squad, rogue squad, if you will. Do you want to describe these guys who are in his squad? There's the sexy,
there's Nyan Yab.
Gungan. There's Nyan Yab, who's like second in command, who's there to like sexy Gungan. I don't remember her name. It was like another weird smash of
I'll look it up.
syllables,
Hold
like
on.
a Gungan.
Reba
thing.
back to. It's Reba back
Reba
to.
back to. Reba. Right, Reba. Is that a Reba McEntire thing? Is it because
Maybe.
she's real sexy?
Maybe. I don't think she was alive then.
I'm gonna look up some pictures of Reba McEntire.
Reba back to.
You don't think Reba McEntire was alive during...
I don't think Reba
80s?
McEntire's ever been alive.
She was born in 1955. She was alive.
Well, give her
She's
give
a
or take.
smoke show.
I don't know if that's true.
I think so for being born in the 50s. I mean, she's
Let me
clearly
look her
had some
up.
work
Hold
done,
on, I'm
but
gonna look her up. Let's take a look.
Wow.
Here.
She's got
Hot.
she's got a bod that would make Dolly Parton sweat. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not into her. Sorry, Reba. Not into you. I'm into Reba
Wow.
back to, but not Reba McEntire.
Well, the way they make a female Gungan look female is they put big lipstick on her and they give her purple eyeliner. So that's.
I mean,
and remember,
I'm just
remember
saying
this
she
is
was a
all
pretty
practical.
attractive Gungan. That's all I'm saying. I don't.
So it's not quite the Gungan design we know, or maybe just Gungans look different because she has sort of like spikes on her head. Anyway, she's like there for like sexy comic relief, which is a hard needle to thread, but
Yeah.
she nails it.
She
nails it. And her sexy catchphrase is "Whoo, baby," and she says it almost every moment.
almost
of
every time they
Ooh,
murder
baby.
a bunch of stormtroopers, she says it, and it's
"Whoo, baby."
I mean, just
To, like, take-
saying it is really doing something to me, and I
There's-
don't miss it.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me
Little
of
flush.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I've got pictures of Reba McEntire open on one screen and Reba what's her Gungan
Back to,
on the
Reba
other.
back to.
Back to, and yeah, I mean, my search history is going to tell a tale.
Right. So they have those three, and then they have the sassy droid.
Oh yeah, the droid who's like a fucking murderer, who's a real sassy guy.
Fuck his name.
Mr. Bones.
Oh yeah, Mr. Bones. Mr. Bones is
Mr. Bones. He's a heavy modified B1 series battle
which
droid.
again I don't think existed till like
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace. Yeah, I didn't think any of those.
Well,
but
that's
I guess
the thing is that this movie was set to debut in our universe too, but it was canceled after they realized that Wedge was not a charismatic character and that no one cared what happened, whether he lived or died, to be honest.
No.
And so they decided instead that they were going to shelve a lot of this lore, and then when they decided after special editions they're going to finally revive the franchise with a surefire hit starring Jake Lloyd,
Sure.
the Phantom Menace, they were like, oh, let's pull from these things. You know, it's like...
So George
it's
Lucas
like-
had all these things already in his mind. and
Exactly.
this is- gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's just like the dance sequence in Return of the Jedi. He's like, I always wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Now I finally get the chance because it's perfect. No
Yeah.
notes.
Mr. Bones. What a cool character that guy is. He murders.
Yeah, he's like red and he's got human bones on him, and he
Yeah. And he's a good guy? It's kind of insane.
he's a good guy, and he's a droid who flies an X-wing, which is cool in itself. They keep saying a droid shouldn't fly an X-wing because it can cause problems.
Yeah.
And they're right, because he keeps doing like crazy kamikaze shit and knocking his own wings off, which is a recurring thing. He keeps having to weld on new wings out of like TIE fighter scrap. So by the end of the movie, he's got like a half X-wing, half TIE fighter, which is a pretty cool design.
It's pretty cool. And it's also like, he can survive crashes, I guess, which is why he kamikazes it. But it's like...
Yeah, but he keeps having to get rebuilt because he's like his
Mr.
core
Bones,
processors
you
survived,
killed
but he's
yourself
just
again.
like Mr. Bones is he's suicidal basically, like to a fault. His bloodlust knows no bounds.
Yeah, I don't know who
And-
programmed him, but they were a maniac. Whoever
They were a
programmed him.
maniac.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's pretty awesome and very funny just because of how. I think like the problem with this movie overall and the reason it got shelved and didn't come to our universe is that.
Too many sidekicks?
No, I like all the sidekicks. I think that's cool. It's just that it has that... It doesn't get the tone of Star Wars quite right.
No.
It has
That's
that,
fair.
like... it feels like an 80s movie for sure, but it feels like more like Howard the Duck, where it's like feels like, who was this for specifically?
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense because that's another Lucas movie, but it's like, wait, why is there a sexy... I know Leia was sexy in the gold bikini, but like, why are we leaning so hard on this like 6 bikini wearing Gungan? Like, why is that the thing? And like,
I mean, I don't have any complaints about it. You're the only one complaining.
No, I know, but you and I are a special breed of freak. Like, okay. I'm talking about like, if this movie is supposed to be like, that's the thing. Is it like, are you trying to make like a more adult Star Wars?
That's what I felt like. It was like
but it was also very silly. I mean, who baby? And like the suicidal crazy droid.
They all had so many catchphrases. And Nub Nub kept saying the same thing. I don't know what he was saying, but he kept saying it over and over again like it was a catchphrase. And how's that a catchphrase?
I don't know.
I fucking hate that guy. Sorry.
He would just shrug and go, ba.
But the only person, and then the main guy, Wedge, didn't fucking say much of anything, right? Like
he was just like, it was almost like they were like, this has to be about Wedge because it makes sense and it's called Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
And then they get like that guy in there and you're like, well, he's kind of like a serious actor and he's like, he's a little bit dry. So he doesn't have like the whiny charm of Luke. And he doesn't have the smug charisma of Han.
Yeah, he's just a guy.
He's just sort of like a stern,
a classically trained actor.
He fills a sort of a Warriors of Virtue style stern but wise archetype, I think.
That's fair.
In some ways. Check out Bunker Brothers episode Warriors of Virtue for more details on that movie. Another Patty Jenkins classic.
But also they're hunting these stormtroopers and there's no, like, the big bad is just a stormtrooper with like a little like red on his shoulder. Like he's not that different.
Well, he's got a little red on his shoulder. He's got one of those like flaps from riding dewbacks or whatever.
Sure, but you don't see his face and he's not Darth Vader. He doesn't have a lightsaber. He's just like, supposed to be.
You're right. I mean, because I want to say, because like they do hunt down one of the evil British officers on the second planet.
Yeah, but again, like, he's just. I don't even remember him from the first one. I thought that was the guy Darth Vader killed.
That's the thing, is that like the joke of in Empire Strikes Back is he keeps killing these lieutenants and they keep getting replaced. So like making that guy a big bad is like, it's a hard sell.
Yeah,
but it's like also like
killed this guy a bunch
of times.
You know
what it is? It's almost like a revenge. It's almost like what's that movie? The Tarantino in World War II.
Oh yeah,
but it doesn't have
Inglourious
the German
Bastards.
guy.
Yeah,
Inglourious Bastards. It's like that, but it doesn't have
Hitler.
The Nazi.
There's no Hitler to kill.
No. You know who I mean.
Yes. Yeah,
it doesn't have that like clear like, ooh, he's evil, but like you kind of want him in every scene because he's so interesting as an evil guy. Yeah. There's no that guy, and I think it's missing that because Star Wars classically has these big antagonists, but it almost felt like they were afraid to create a bad guy who wasn't. You know what Darth it felt Vader. Like? Yeah, like Darth Vader or a Jedi.
Yeah.
It felt like they were stuck in this thing where they're like, well, the worst thing you could be in this universe is like a Sith, right? So, but how can we make a bunch of guys with blasters take down a Sith? That totally undermines what Jedis do, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't do that. Basically, you know what it was? It was like an 80s arcade game where at the end of each level they fight like a mini boss who is not that impressive.
Yeah.
Like, because in the third planet, like the big tough boss they have to fight is like a big computer droid who's like a big wall of like killing stuff.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's supposed to be like a next level like trash compactor, but he's also a character. He looked like a giant wall with buttons on it. He looked like a robot. He looked to me. He looked like an amp tower at a concert.
Yeah.
He looked like a bunch of electronics stacked onto one another.
And again, it had the 80s movie feel of being very silly and not necessarily threatening, right?
Yeah, he had like a computer screen with a face on it, and it looked like an Atari.
Yeah. It's like, oh,
he's like, kill, me, smash.
It's
like,
can't
are you
move.
Smart or dumb? You're a robot.
Can he move or not?
Why do you talk like a child?
Oh, boy.
Kill human, kill sexy Gungan. And she's like, ooh, baby.
Oh, boy. Yeah. That was And Mr. Bones is like, I want to fucking ram this guy.
Do you mean sexually, Mr. Bones, or not?
I don't know. That's what Mr. Bones said.
Yeah, and there's a couple other guys on the team, but most of them are just there to be cannon fodder.
Most of them are to be cannon fire. Yeah, there's they're all wearing the same outfit as Wedge, but they all don't live very long.
We should say there's a space battle too.
Yeah.
Of course there is, because they're an X-Wing squad. But they do spend a lot of time on planet.
It almost feels like there's planets. And also, in the space battle, they spent so much time cutting between characters like they do, but it was it was too much.
Yeah, because there's so many of them, and we're never inside the Millennium Falcon or inside it's just and I don't know what it was, but it looked cheaper. I feel like maybe they just didn't spend enough time on doing the post-production because the movie was never released in our dimension or something, but it felt like seeing a lot of X-Wings on strings. I could see the X-strings, I guess is what I'm saying. Is that what string theory is? Be honest.
I think it might be it might be X-string is what is
X-string theory.
X-string theory, yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so I think this movie was it had potential, but because of the weird tonal stuff and it wanted to be both sexy and funny and a Star Wars movie, it felt like it wanted to be too many things for too many people.
Exactly. Yeah, it
was like the Ewok Adventures in some way because of that. It was is this?
But I like the Ewok Adventures because they're so stupid.
So you didn't like this? Okay.
No, I liked it a lot, if I'm being honest, because it was I've never seen a 4 Star Wars movie. I've only seen
they only come in 3-packs.
They only come in 3.
It's
fun to see a 4th. I liked it. It was fine. But again, because it's just fun to see those characters besides the ones that I've never seen before. But it's fun to see, it had that classic feel of a good Star Wars movie, I guess.
Well, the other thing that they do is they try to give Wedge a love interest, but it's she's not really that interesting either.
No.
It's kind of what if Rocky wasn't interesting and also was in love with Adrian, who also wasn't
there's no chemistry with that girl at all. What the fuck?
She's a technician who works on the.
She fixes his ship every time.
Yeah, right. And he's oh, you did a good job. She's thanks. Hey, how was your mission? He's oh, could have gone better. But it could have gone worse.
You blew up the Death Star. Why are you so nervous around this girl?
I don't know if he is nervous though. It just seems like he's not interesting. He's just fair. It just seems it feels like they're a perfect match, but not a perfect screen couple, especially after we've had Han and Leia. It's just
Luke and Leia, you mean?
Well, whichever. They're both a sexier match than Wedge and what's-her-face.
Yeah, Luke and Leia's brother and sister was sexier than this match, which is
that's saying something.
That's saying a lot.
And it's clear that, I thought at points that they were trying to get Reba and Nia Nub together, but it's also clear that Reba was kind of interested in whoever was around at the time.
They painted her a bit of a lady of the night, if you will.
Yeah,
lady of the sea, lady of the dark sea. Gungans live underwater.
Right. No, I'm very familiar.
Gungans live underwater in little bubbles in the ocean, as you may know.
Would you say she's the boss Nass of Looking for Dad Ass?
I would say that, and I'm going to say that from now on all the time.
I think if you are with your significant other tonight, dear listener, just remind them if they'd like to go with you on an undersea voyage tonight, that you are the boss Nass of Looking for That Ass. And then you just say that to them. Go, yeah, motorboat their boobies like that by going.
Oh, I thought you were motorboating ass. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, either way, whatever you're into, but just make sure it's consensual and safe, and exactly the way that Brian, what's his face, played Boss Nass.
Cranston?
Yeah, Bryan Cranston was Boss Nass, I think. No, wait.
There's nothing that guy can't do.
Bryan Cranston played Snizzard in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, not Boss Nass.
Oh, sorry. I always get Snizzard.
Snizzard is easy to confuse with Boss Nass.
Yeah, sorry.
So they sort of hit the heights, but like there is a desert planet, which is like the second planet, right?
Yeah.
But to try to make it different than Tatooine,
right? Instead of just calling it Tatooine like they do now, or they're like, it's Tatooine. Everybody loves it.
It's Tatooine. It's Jakku. It's whatever.
It's just.
But they tried to do, I guess, what they end up doing in Mandalorian to much more successful effect. But they tried to give it like a 70s Wild West vibe, like a Clint Eastwood, so they could make. I think what they're trying to do is make Wedge his lack of charisma into like a strong, steady cowboy type.
Yeah.
But it doesn't quite work. No. And they give him this hat that's like the space version of a cowboy hat.
It's so blue and it's so big.
Yeah.
And it's very distracting.
And it has like a weird space feather in it, so it kind of looks like a pimp. Yeah. And then it's like you've got Reba being sexy and saying, "Ooh, baby."
And you got like Mr. Bones, who's a fucking lunatic. Right?
Yeah, and who just like wants to slice dudes in half. Like, I don't think we need to specify that Mr. Bones slices stormtroopers in half.
Stormtroopers in half.
All the constantly.
He talks about how much he loves it.
They don't show blood because I think it's like in that bloodless part of Star Wars. But
I think it's like supposedly like his giant scissors or whatever are like electrified or whatever, so it cauterizes.
Yeah, they cauterize as they. You got to imagine that smells like the Oscar Mayer plant on a hot summer day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's clear. Yeah, you've got the droid, and yeah, they sort of have this cowboy thing where they're like basically having like a Wild West showdown with one of the former admirals or lieutenant admirals. I don't know, whatever you call like the second in command of Darth Vader.
The guys who don't wear a helmet. Yeah.
Lord Vader, I must protest that. Oh
God, you're choking me again.
He's choking me again.
I thought you really liked me.
And there was that weird sequence when it's like some sort of like pseudo force user is like force choking Reba, and Reba's like, more hard.
Yeah, that was strange.
No, wait, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen, did it? That was a dream I had. That was my fanfic of it.
Your fanfic of a fanfic. What a
Hey, this isn't a fanfic. This is a real movie in this dimension.
I'm sorry. In this universe, it is a fanfic.
I'm writing If you would like to draw fan art of Reba and me,
please send it to me right now. Oh, not you, of me.
Drinking a milkshake with 2 straws with hearts above it. I would love that.
Blue milk with
Blue
Reba.
milkshake. Yes. Did we just create the world's best caricature shop?
It's just a matter of
Star Wars Galaxy's
Edge.
It's
just a matter of time till Reba gets her own series on Disney Plus.
So in the first planet is like they're hunting down the
well, they have a list. They have this like a list, and they literally just show the list, and then they X them off every time they kill them. Like that's the plot.
Right. That's right. But it's like a hollow list.
Yeah.
And so they have to move these it's like they use like the chessboard again, but it's like they move these giant X's and O's on the thing. Like it's really pointless. And yeah, the first one is like the bigger, fatter, stronger looking stormtrooper who just looks like the Mountain in stormtrooper outfit.
Yeah.
And like he's the one with the red thing on his shoulder in the jungle planet. And then the second one is the cowboy planet, sort of with like, it's just weird that they do like a full, I mean, they do the full showdown with that guy.
Yeah.
They have a shootout with him.
Yeah.
I think
they have a clock that goes off at noon. It's fucking weird.
It's like they're referencing cowboy. That's the thing, is that it feels like it's no longer trying to do its own Star Wars tone. It's like actively referencing other movies. Yeah. And that's what makes it weird.
Yeah.
And after that, on that guy's body, they find some sort of data, whatever. They find, or no. They find a droid that he owned, and that droid has the info that they're trying to piece together the next Death Star, and that's when they go back to the ship to call all their friends from the old movies.
Hey guys, Need some help. They're building another Death Star. We already blew up 2. That's enough. We'll be fine. Who's gonna blow? Who's gonna do it? We burnt Darth Vader. Who cares?
And so the third planet that they go to is like a tech, like a factory planet, like a tech almost. Factory, It's like Midgar.
Yeah, it does. It looks a lot like Midgar. Yeah.
And it's like, it looks like 80s dystopian, like weird Styx artwork, Mr. Roboto, like weird matte paintings in the background. It's weird.
Well, I guess like the computer is like the AI that's like letting all the stormtroopers still communicate or whatever, some bullshit, something like that.
Yeah. It's compiling the data of all of the resources they have around the galaxy so that they can piece together all their remaining things into a new weapon of mass destruction for Star Wars land.
That's why Singularity, dude, you gotta watch out. Those robots are coming to get you. All of us.
The thing I just realized, the whole planet looks like that weird 1984 Apple commercial with the hammer and the screen.
Yeah.
Where the guys...
That's probably where they stole it from.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. One influenced the other in this dimension. But, like, it's... The planet seemed cool, but it also seemed, like, weirdly, like, Flash Gordon, and again, just didn't feel Star Wars-y in some way.
Yeah.
It felt like...
It reminded me of Mario Brothers, where they go underground. And it's like it's a weird future underground city place.
You mean, of course, the other great Bunker Brothers episode, Super Mario Bros. The movie.
Did I just reference another Bunker Brothers episode? That's weird.
Just if you like what we're doing here, just listen to Bunker Brothers. You got a lot more content out there. There's like 40 episodes out there. Some of them are about movies. Some of them are stories we create ourselves. No combination of that is this show. Don't even worry about it.
Don't even think about that. Why would you even think about that? Not even something to bring up. Not even something.
We've always been in this dimension. Fake news.
Fake news.
But yeah, it's like people are enslaved on that planet and they all work for the computer.
Yeah.
The computer and its stormtroopers are forcing... I think like... I don't think that planet was always like that. I think it used to be like a peaceful utopia planet in that weird 70s... like Logan's Running way or something.
Probably, yeah.
And then like they enslaved the people as the base grew bigger and it became like the main remaining Empire base where they're trying to like collect stuff.
It's just capitalism, dude. It's just capitalism running amok. You work for the man, then you buy your bread from the man. You use coupons.
1/4 portion.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens. You gotta be careful. And that's what's going to happen when the robots take over, too. That's what they don't tell you.
At this point, I welcome it. I mean, could that dystopia be any worse than this one? What's the difference?
Could be.
At least the robots would be efficient in their evil.
Be efficient. They wouldn't be evil. It'd be pure, bloodless murder of mass scale. It'd kill everybody.
How is that not evil?
I'm saying it's super evil. But it's also very logical.
That's what I want. I'm tired of this like slow burning, incompetent Republican evil. I want like an efficient. It's all gonna be over, just fucking kill me now. I guess that's why I like wrestling with my girlfriend's guns so much.
Oh, I guess that's why I thought you liked it because they were shiny. I thought they were shiny.
Well, I mean, you're not gonna. I mean, if someone's going to leave a shiny thing, I'm not gonna not
so essentially, you gun is sort of your stem wall, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with that.
It's got so many buttons I can press.
Well, just the one, but even so,
still, it's a good button. I mean,
it's just like that commercial. I learned it from watching you, but in my case, it's the Joker.
I learned from watching you, Joker.
I learned it from watching you, Joker.
You wouldn't understand.
Oh, my Joker.
You wouldn't understand, Dad.
So yeah, they go to that dystopian hell planet, and they get stuck in a room, and the room is basically all this computer guy, and he keeps, like, shooting speakers at them to try to smush them.
Yeah.
And as they come out, they, like, climb him like a Jenga tower, basically. and then fucking Mr. Bones like does a kamikaze move on into that robot's brain and jacks into him and like explodes and blows up the whole fucking room, right?
Yeah.
And then, but again, he's sort of dead at the end, or at least ripped up again, and they like take his head. Wedge has got like Mr. Bones' head under his shoulder. But it felt like to me that the consciousness of the evil wall robot was inside Mr. Bones then.
Well, they did that weird like sinister close-up thing of Mr. Bones, where and then like his like eyes like I guess glowed a different color than normal, but it's still like I didn't necessarily know if that's what it meant. I don't know.
He's pretty evil already. It's hard to one up.
He's already evil. Super evil. Like
it also raises the question: how did he get on this team? They made it sound like Nia Nub knew him.
Yeah. Nia Nub like at the beginning, Nia Nub points to him, and they like hug.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
Hey, we got Buddha. Hey, folks, a bow. What do you say? I knows him from way back.
Nia Nub knows him. I fucking hate Nia Nub, dude. I can't. I hate solstices. I hate them so much.
I thought it was bad that they had this romance with the girl, right?
Yeah.
And they had her fly in on an X-wing at the end to rescue Wedge, and it was just like, and he's like, "When did you learn to fly?" She's like, "Oh, I've been taking lessons while you were away. I thought,
shucks,
you might think it was cool." And he's like, "I do think it is cool." And then they like hold
wait
hands.
For it. Yeah, they're gonna kiss, right?
No. They just share like a little moment, and it's like, okay, so maybe she'll be in the next one. Well, that's not going to happen. There's no next one.
Nope. The next one's the new Phantom Menace. Nobody wants that.
Yeah, you don't really see her again.
No.
And I watched a promo reel for this, like it was like at the movies with like Leonard Maltin of this universe.
Yeah.
Whose name is Leonard Maltin because the universe changes.
It's a very small change, but it's still basically the same person.
Yeah, I mean that's the differences between the universes. It's just like how the sun here is green, but like everything else is basically the same. But anyway, I hope someone out there is compiling other universe lore so they can throw it in my face later. And they have this actress who plays the technician, and they on the Leonard Maltin show with Wedge, and they're like, "Do you guys think you'll be the new Han and Leia?" I almost said Luke and Leia. The new sexy couple, Luke and Leia. And she's like, "I think I've been waiting for my big break this whole time, and this is it." But that's the thing, like even in the alternate dimension, this was like shelved and only released on DVD as like a bonus thing. Later, it didn't really have the life. So her entire career like began and ended with this movie.
It's kind of sad, but
it's really sad.
She's still in a Star Wars movie. I mean, in this dimension, it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, but if you were like Chewbacca's Uncle Stinky, would you be like, I'm
You still go to conventions. You still go to conventions and you get still sign autographs. You make a good living.
Yes.
Make a good living as the girl I can't remember whose name is in love with Wedge.
Hey, what would you rate this movie out of 10?
Out of a Star Wars 10 or a real 10?
Out of how bad of a feeling do you have about this movie?
I don't, like I said, I don't hate this. I would say like it's the worst of the first 4. But it's better than most of the last 7, right? The only one I liked recently was Rogue One. So there you go. That's where I stand.
Yeah, I would say that if the scale is I have a bad feeling about this, I would say I have a good feeling about this, an okay feeling about this, a pretty good feeling about this.
I have an okay feeling about this.
I would recommend this movie if you love Star Wars and want a little more taste of Mr. Bones. This is the movie for you. If you've got a thing for sexy lady Gungans, look no further. This is like the Tumblr fan art central for sexy Gungans. Like, if you like Gremlins 2, the new batch, she's as sexy as the female Gremlin in that.
Oh, easily. Maybe I would say she's hotter, but again,
wow, that's crazy.
But I also kind of thought Jar Jar was hot, so there you go.
Well, I mean, he's got that long tongue. He says all those sexy things. It's hard not to.
He's just
when you're wearing
when
you're wearing a little vest like that, it's hard not to let.
He's such a
wander.
tease, dude. He's a
tease.
He's a tease.
He's a tease. And then he becomes a senator. It's like, you know how I feel about power.
And he's a secret Sith Lord, so that also does it for me.
I told you that's not true.
It's not true. It super is.
Oh, jeez. Here we go again with this. Well, I feel like that's all the time we got, right?
Yeah, I think that's probably about it. I'd watch it. I'd watch it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on again, and
I'm gonna put a pause at a certain parts. Yeah.
You're just gonna flog the Gungan,
as they say.
Oh no, he's going boss ass on that ass. Oh no, I knew it. Make sure to submit your made-up movie ideas on Twitter. It's at MadeUpMoviesPod on Twitter. You can also please like and subscribe and rate and review us. Anything you can do to help our little show grow, that would be a big help. And yeah, send us your made-up movie ideas. We want to get some new ones in there. It can be sequels to existing movies like this. They can be completely original. Give us that fake movie name from the other dimension, and and what it's about. And that'll be good.